The skies above Washington, D.C. have always been a symbol of power, of authority, and of control. But in the midst of rising global tensions, something unusual happens. The unmistakable silhouette of the E-4B Doomsday Plane appears, cutting through the clouds with a sense of urgency. This is not just another aircraft. This is the U.S.'s Airborne Command Center, a lifeline in times of war, a beacon of last resort authority, and its sudden presence raises more questions than it answers. Is this simply a show of power, or is it something more? Is it a message, a warning, or perhaps a prelude to something much darker? As we look up, a thought lingers. Why now? Why is the U.S. deploying this nuclear command post at this exact moment? What message is being sent to the world? The E-4B has not flown over American skies for nothing. Its very presence has a purpose. Its appearance could signal a change in strategy. But what does it mean for the rest of the world? To understand the weight of this event, we must first understand what the Doomsday Plane is and what it represents. The E-4B is the ultimate command center. It is a heavily modified Boeing 747 equipped with secure communications and radar systems capable of withstanding a nuclear explosion's electromagnetic pulse (EMP). When the E-4B takes to the sky, it's not just flying, it's a lifeline for the nation. Its primary purpose is to keep U.S. leadership intact and functional even after a nuclear attack. The aircraft can fly for days without refueling, allowing the President, the Secretary of Defense, and other key military leaders to continue directing the U.S. military from the skies. But the E-4B is not just a machine of war. It is a symbol of readiness, of power, and of the ability to strike at any time. Its sudden reappearance over Washington, D.C. sends an unmistakable message. But what is that message? Let's pause for a moment and consider the historical context. The E-4B was first introduced during the Cold War, a time when the threat of nuclear war between the United States and the Soviet Union was a constant concern. The Doomsday Plane was developed to ensure that even in the event of a nuclear attack, the U.S. government would remain operational, its leadership intact, its military forces still under command. In those days, the sight of the E-4B flying over the U.S. was a sign of the country's readiness to act, readiness to fight. Today, the world is different, yet some things remain the same. The threat of nuclear war, though not as immediate as it was during the Cold War, has never fully disappeared. The U.S. continues to maintain a nuclear arsenal capable of devastating entire nations. Countries like North Korea and Iran have pushed their nuclear capabilities to new extremes. Russia, under President Vladimir Putin, has become more aggressive, flexing its military muscles in Ukraine and beyond. And China's growing power has led to heightened tensions in the South China Sea, Taiwan, and around the globe. In this world, the Doomsday Plane represents more than just military might. It represents control, authority, and the ability to command the world's most destructive force. But why would the U.S. choose to deploy this symbol now? The answer lies in the geopolitical climate. With rising tensions around the globe, with China's military advancements, Russia's unpredictable actions, and the ongoing standoff with North Korea, the appearance of the E-4B could be a deliberate move to assert U.S. power and dominance in the face of these threats. We know that the Doomsday Plane is often deployed during times of crisis, but this moment feels different. The U.S. government, particularly under the leadership of Donald Trump, has been known for its bold and unconventional tactics. Trump's foreign policy, often described as America First, has created an atmosphere of uncertainty. He has shown a willingness to push international norms and challenge traditional diplomacy. Could the appearance of the Doomsday Plane be Trump's way of signaling a return to a more aggressive stance in foreign relations? But what does this mean for the rest of the world? Let's take a step back and consider the potential consequences of the plane's appearance in the sky. The Doomsday Plane is a signal. It sends a message to adversaries and allies alike. It tells the world that the U.S. is ready to act no matter the cost. When the E-4B takes to the skies, it's not just about military power, it's about psychological warfare. The global response would be immediate. Russia, already deeply concerned about NATO's eastward expansion and U.S. influence in Europe, would view this as a direct challenge. North Korea, already on edge, would interpret this as a signal that the U.S. is prepared to escalate tensions on the Korean peninsula. Even China, in the midst of its own territorial disputes, would likely see this as a challenge to its growing global influence. In the U.S., the plane's appearance would send shockwaves across the nation. Politicians and analysts would be scrambling to understand the full implications. Is the country preparing for war? Are we on the brink of a new conflict? The uncertainty would drive public fear. The question of whether this is a mere display of power or the beginning of something far more dangerous would dominate the news cycle. The psychological impact would ripple across international borders, creating a climate of fear and uncertainty. Countries would reconsider their strategies, reevaluating their alliances and military readiness. Could this be the beginning of a new Cold War? A new arms race? The uncertainty would hang in the air, thick and palpable. But what about Trump? What is he trying to communicate by sending this unmistakable message to the world? For Trump, this could be a continuation of the foreign policy tactics he used during his time in office. Tactics that focused on projecting strength even at the cost of diplomatic relationships. His presidency was marked by a willingness to push the boundaries of traditional foreign policy, often bypassing conventional diplomatic channels and opting for more direct, often combative strategies. Could the appearance of the Doomsday Plane be another bold move to assert U.S. dominance in an increasingly multipolar world? Is it a warning to adversaries, a reminder that the U.S. remains the most powerful nation on Earth, capable of projecting its military might at any moment? As the plane soars overhead, we are left to contemplate the bigger picture. The E-4B is not just a machine. It is a symbol of the United States' power, its ability to strike anywhere in the world, and its readiness to face any challenge head-on. But in a world where global tensions are at an all-time high, the Doomsday Plane's reappearance asks us, are we truly ready to face what's coming? And in the end, perhaps the most important question is, what will be the next move? As we wait and watch, we can only wonder, is this a message of power? Or is it a sign of something much more dangerous on the horizon? The world is watching and the future remains uncertain. Stay tuned, as the unfolding events could change everything. And remember, in times like these, the sky is never as calm as it appears.